My name is Hannah, and this is my year of less stuff. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I'm doing last looks because it happened. I changed my top, or I put on this top. I changed out of my robe and put on this top and messed up my eyebrows. I'm gonna fix them right now. I also feel like my bangs have been trying to be very lopsided today, so we'll see how it goes for the rest of the video. But you know, I'm glad that I didn't have like that weird squashed eyebrow that would have driven me crazy while I was editing. This top, by the way, is one that I rented from Nuuly, and I haven't been able to return my Nuuly box since we went on pretty much lockdown because we don't have like an outgoing mail for packages in our building. We just have to walk things to the post office, and we haven't been able to do that. And Nuuly has been incredibly gracious and accommodating about the fact that I'm not able to return my box. They allowed me to pause my subscription and just said like send the clothes back whenever you can, and that has been awesome. Of course, I haven't had anywhere to wear the clothes. I decided to wear this again just for a video as long as I happen to have it. It's one of my favorite things that I've ever rented from Nuuly. I think that if I weren't in such a strict situation, both financially because of the coronavirus and also because I spent so much of my budget in the first couple months of the year, I would probably buy it. Like, that's how much I love it. I'd probably buy it from Nuuly. But I know that I'm not going to do that. I'm just glad to have gotten the chance to wear it in not one, but two videos. This is the second time I've worn it on camera. It's a sweatshirt. I'm not sure if you can tell, but it's like a terry cloth materials. It has a really fuzzy inside, and then it has this one kind of puffed 3/4 length sleeve, and then this one off the shoulder non-existent sleeve. I live. Although, you know what I should do? I should put some highlighter on. This is the palette that I used on my face. I filmed To Get Ready With Me, which actually might go up after this video because today's video is about new makeup releases, and those videos are usually kind of time sensitive. So this one will probably go up first. And in the Get Ready With Me, you'll see me demonstrate this Aether Beauty highlighter. It might be a little dark for use on the body. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's a little dark. Let's see what we can do about that. I have an idea. Okay, here's Samantha's collab. It's the Start Inspired highlight. I'm just gonna pick up the lighter side rather than the pink part. So I'm just picking up Star Island and layering it over. All right, that's something. It might kind of look like like I got a little sun on my collarbone, but we're going with it. I'm looking in the monitor and I feel like I might have bumped the camera. Okay, so not only am I totally unprepared for this video in that I had no highlight on my shoulder and collarbone, a scandalo, and I had like not checked the viewfinder. What am I doing on YouTube? But I'm also filming a new makeup releases for which I am completely unprepared. I've pulled Trend Mood up, and it might be kind of fun, actually. We'll see. I have my computer right here out of frame, and I've pulled Trend Mood up on my computer. I haven't looked at it yet. Usually I look and I decide what I want to talk about, and I sort of draw some conclusions in advance, but this time I haven't done that at all. I decided that what I'm going to do is go through Trend Mood with you, kind of give my first reactions to the new releases, and then talk about them as I'm going through. I haven't even been watching very many new release videos. I'm like behind on the videos that I usually watch. I'm behind on YouTube in general because I usually spend so many hours every day sewing tango clothes. That's how I've been able to watch so much YouTube over the past several years. I just put on YouTube and sew all day and watch all day, and I'm able to like consume all of my friends' content and other content and all of that stuff. And these days I've just been writing all day. And so I only have like a window for YouTube when I'm cooking. It's kind of it. Maybe when I'm cleaning up around the house a little bit, but it's just my available YouTube watching time has shrunk by quite a lot. So I haven't even watched very many new releases videos. I don't really know what's being released. We're going to find out together, and I'm going to talk about my feelings. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. I feel like I'm going to try to keep my hair, like, don't you think I should try to keep my hair off the shoulder for this video so that the full impact of the top can be felt? I think so. Reverse chronological order, because we're starting at the top of Trend Mood, because we're going as I see it. And the first thing, this is the only one I clicked on before I started filming, the Major Brow release date has been reposted, and it's the same as the original release date. It might even be a little bit earlier. So it looks like they've decided to launch. they took the listing down off of Sephora for a long time. There was an announcement that they'd postponed the launch. I believe it had originally said end of April. And now they've decided to launch on April 17th, which is Friday. It is the day that the VIB sale is starting. And it's the same day that the Fenty Beauty cheek products are launching. So I'm going to be able to get the two things that I want to buy for a review on that day. I have lost my rouge status. It's not even funny. It's great. I'm really glad that I've lost my rouge status at Sephora. I'm not VIB Rouge anymore, and I never plan to be again. I was VIB Rouge in 2019 because of my replacements habits for the first half of 2018 during my no-buy year. It took me half of the year to cotton on to the fact that I was spending way too much money on replacement skincare items. So I was rouge all the way through 2019, but I didn't spend nearly enough in 2019 to be VIB Rouge in 2020. So I'm just a regular old, I think I might be a VIB. I think I'm like a regular old VIB maybe. The sale won't have started for me on Friday. I don't care. I'm really not about optimizing my spending with this, or my savings with the Sephora sale. I haven't bought anything on sale during the Sephora sale for years. They're going to take forever to arrive because shipping is currently, I think, very delayed at Sephora, and it's going to be even more delayed because of the sale. That's too bad. It would have been great to like have that quick turnaround and be able to do a review of it while it's still pretty new, but I'm still going to do it. I really want to review this product, and I really want to review one of the Fenty blushes. So I am planning to buy those two things when they launch on Friday so that I can review them on my channel. So that's fun. That doesn't have to be very often. Like, there aren't very many things that float along that really make me want to review them, but these are two of them. Pharmacy appears to have released a new product in a very beautiful box covered with papayas, but Pharmacy is one of those skincare brands that's just out of my price range. So I always observe what they are doing with great interest, but it's like an academic interest. Pharmacy, though, back when I was like a major overspender, not just on skincare as a whole, but specifically on masks and sheet masks, the Pharmacy sheet masks were my favorites because it's that biocellulose like gel mask that just adheres to your face and you can do anything. I remember putting those masks on, like I would put one on in the bathtub and I would leave it on. I would get out of the bathtub and I would do a whole bunch of other things, go about my evening, and it would just stick and stick and stick. And when I peeled it off, my skin underneath would feel like it had just been completely marinated in the gel and the serum. It's just, they make a really beautiful mask, but they're like $9 each or something. And I just, like, I'm over here now buying night creams that last for months and months for about $9. So it just, I'm priced out of Pharmacy. The thing they've released is an oil-free gel moisturizer called Daily Greens. I wouldn't be interested in that in any case because gel moisturizers aren't hefty enough for me. There's no place for them in my routine. Huda Beauty's Wishful Thinking has released a sheet mask, Thirst Trap, a hydrating cocoon, but it's just for your chin. Oh, there's two of them. So they've released a regular sheet mask and they've also released a chin lift sculpting sheet mask. No, they haven't. They just released a thing that you put on. I don't know. Again, like sheet masks, I do like them and I think that there's a place for them in my routine, but it's not at this price point. And it's just one of those things where it's like a high-end makeup brand that started a high-end skincare brand, and now they're making high-end versions of something that doesn't need to cost a high-end price, but they're selling it for a high-end price. It's like a Swarovski. It's like a crystal encrusted, I don't know, like teaspoon, or like a like a Swarovski crystal encrusted like drugstore lipstick or something like that. Like that's how I feel about it, and I just don't want to pay for the Swarovski crystals, and that's what the price is. That's just how I feel. It's a very abstract way of explaining how I feel about what's it called? Wishful Skincare having released these sheet masks. This is an interesting way to do this because I feel like I'm gonna just be talking about everything, even if it's just to say I'm not interested in talking about it. I'm not interested in talking about the Anastasia glosses. I mean, they're very pretty It's like these 4 pale nudes with different levels of sparkle. In the abstract, very beautiful. Like if makeup to me was just an idea, a color idea, I would be like, I love this. I love this example. But as a consumer, no. I'm so happy with the lip glosses that I have, and I'm not going to go out and buy one from Anastasia. Also, I have no evidence for this, but I suspect them of being sticky because of my general experience with Anastasia just as a brand. I just feel like they would make a thick, goopy, sticky gloss. But, and again, I haven't watched a single review or read a single thing. This is the first time I've heard about this. But it's just the way that I feel about them. It's like what I expect from them in terms of the kind of makeup that I make. I'm just looking at this and I'm like, they look pretty, but I bet they're sticky and thick. Judgy, so needlessly judgy over here. Okay, e.l.f. has released a sheer slick lipstick. I'm into sheer, all of a sudden, because of Gucci, I'm into sheer lipsticks. The one that I'm wearing today is this one from YSL, which you'll also have seen me put on in that Get Ready With Me. I mean, you also will see me put on in that Get Ready With Me when I release it, when you watch it, because I'm sure you're all gonna watch it, of course. It's the iconic Rouge Volupte Shine. It's a great like sheer lipstick that packs a punch, very beautiful. And I love the Gucci Voile, the sheer that I have from Gucci. So I'm really interested in like sheer lipsticks that are nourishing, that pack a punch in terms of color. And once again, I'm going to make like a totally unfounded judgy statement. Because of how I feel about e.l.f., I suspect that it's going to be like really quite sheer, like more of a balm. And looking at the pictures, I feel like that might actually be true. Although there's this one picture, I'll put it up on the screen. Both of these girls look really pretty. Those lip colors look really pretty. Okay, based on this picture, and it might also be their glossy lids and their brows and everything that's going on with them. Based on this picture, I suddenly feel like e.l.f. has got it going on. And I am not going to rush out and buy this product, but I'm going to look for reviews because I'm curious to know if they're pretty pigmented rather than just being kind of like yet another balm with color. Peachy Queen has released, okay, this is interesting because I'm definitely not going to buy this. No interest in the brand, no interest in getting more eyeshadow palettes, no interest in food themed makeup, no interest in kitschy stuff. But I think this is beautiful. There's something about it. Maybe it's that the classic sriracha bottle. Maybe it's the classic sriracha bottle. I think it's kind of beautiful. It looks kind of classic. It looks vintage to me. There's something about it that it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't look new or plasticky or kitschy. It looks kind of like grounded and masculine in a way that I identify with, like as a person who has both masculine and feminine qualities, as all people do. So I'm using the term masculinity not to mean like associated with people who identify as men, but just has to do with like masculine energy or like masculine qualities in the universe. There's just something masculine about the design of the bottle to me, and the color and I love that. It feels like it's my aesthetic. I really like it. So I do think it's very beautiful. And the way that they've put it on the palette is very beautiful. It just suits me. It looks high end. Like there's something about it that's just cool. It just looks cool. And then they've chosen really good colors to go with it. It's got this edginess, a little bit of grunge. They're not too primary, but then there are those bursts of like the blue. It's kind of like faded glory, which to me is the most glorious. There's something about it. In the abstract, I'm not in the market. I'm not going to buy it, but there's just something about it. I feel like if they were going to do this, they nailed it. The next thing up is the Buxom release, no interest. The eyeshadow palette, it turns me off completely. I have no interest in this color story. Something about the primary yellow and the primary blue, like, and then a bunch of neutrals with also pink in it. It's like not the thing to me. It's interesting because arguably, I guess there are some similarities between this and the one we were just talking about, the Peachy Queen palette. It also had a yellow, but the yellow in the Peachy Queen palette is like a goldenrod. You know what I mean? Whereas the yellow in the Buxom palette is like a buttercup. And I like that richness. And then the blue in the Peachy Queen palette has some shimmer in it. Just there looks like more texture in the Peachy Queen palette. And in the gold, there's a greenish gold in it with some texture. And it's also got a lot of red punch, which I really like. And the Buxom palette, the blues are matte, I guess, and I'm not really that into it. It's pink, there's no like reds. So it looks like wah, wah, wah to me. And then the cheek products, same thing, just very regular colors. I guess they're bronzers. The lip products, it all just looks very, very basic to me. I think that a lot of people could probably get amazing looks from this collection that aren't basic. It's just that at this point in my life, if it's not grabbing me by the throat and screaming at me in the face in terms of like how I respond to the aesthetic, it's an easy pass. Because there are a lot of things I do really love that I'm not even thinking about buying. So that one is just an easy pass. Be Still My Heart. Oh my God. Look at this Dolce & Gabbana packaging. I'm not gonna buy this. I feel like I've done my super high-end luxury beauty review of the year by reviewing the Gucci mascara and the Gucci lip wall. I feel like if I was gonna review another product at that price point, another like super luxury makeup product, I would want to review one of the other formulas of the Gucci lipstick because I was so impressed by the first one. But we need to take a moment for this packaging. It's just stunning. It's like the best thing I've seen in a long time. It's really pretty. It also weirdly appears to be an illuminating duo and illuminating drops, which I guess that's fine. I mean, I kind of like layering powder highlighters over liquid highlighters, but that's kind of an interesting release. Like you would think that they would have just chosen one. And then it also looks like the illuminating one, they're both, Hannah, what are you talking about? The liquid one, it looks like it has a little bit of a pink or violet shift. Like it looks a little bit cool toned, and I don't love that in my highlighters. So if I didn't need a deterrent other than the price, then that would be the deterrent for me. Ooh, this is super pretty. The Viseart Spritz, super pretty. It's too much of a like coral based warm toned only palette for me. It's just like stuff I already have, colors I already have, a color idea that I already have, all of the looks I could make them with what I already have. Like it's too much of that for me to really feel it in my groin when I look at it. But they did a really good job, and I like that they've included a lot of shimmers. One of the things that keeps me from having a true and actual active interest in Viseart's even though I think that they're doing a really beautiful job, I still haven't forgotten the dark edit. That's like still on my wish list. It's perpetually on my wish list. That palette. I could see myself buying it someday if I saw it in person. But the thing that keeps me from actually buying it and from wanting to buy any of the other releases, even though they're all just impeccable, like they're impeccably balanced, they're just going along smoothly, never missing a trick. You know what I mean? Like they're so good at what they do. But I feel like Viseart is for matte lovers. I've heard people saying that the shimmers aren't the best thing about them, and I'm only interested in brands that are famous for their shimmers. TBH. So good job, Viseart. Very, very beautiful. Very impressive as always on an artistic level, but on a functional level, probably not the makeup for me. Revlon and Wonder Woman. I like the packaging. I like that it's Wonder Woman. Not gonna buy it. Not even really gonna look into it. Charlotte Tilbury Magic Crystal Serum Lip Oil. This looks like a fuzzy sneak peek, so I'm not really going to go into it. Charlotte's Magic Lip Oil. Lip treatments, it's not something that I feel like I need a lot of. Like I have like a lip balm. I have a lip balm, and I don't need another lip treatment. I'm just putting that lip balm on when my lips are dry and at night, and that's enough for me. But it looks like there's some sort of serum that goes along with this. Charlotte Tilbury, okay, so kind of what I was saying about Huda Beauty releasing skincare, that to me it's like a Swarovski encrusted crystal version of something that's usually inexpensive. I feel that way a little bit about Charlotte Tilbury's skincare as well. I just feel like it's marked up because of the aesthetic, and sometimes I can get into that for makeup because makeup is about the aesthetic. Like it is, you're buying the tools to build an aesthetic on your face. So sometimes when the product is marked up because of the aesthetic experience of using it, it feels like it's kind of all one thing, and I can understand it, and I can sometimes bring myself to pay for it. But I feel like skincare is utilitarian. It's like the definition of utilitarian, and so I don't want to pay Charlotte Tilbury prices for it. Kosas has released Bronzers looks pretty, but there's, to me, again, like there's no difference between a blush and a bronzer with my complexion. And the lightest one does look very beautiful. Like it looks very beautiful. It's just not beautiful enough to make me want to buy it, even for a review. You know what I mean? I'm just like, other people can review it. It's fine. And I also kind of feel like I'm not the best reviewer for bronzers because I don't really use them in the way that they're intended. I tend to like bronze with blushes and blush with bronzers and use it all over. I consider blush and bronze to all be like a kind of sculpting and refining face situation. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll see this. Maybe it'll get amazing reviews. Maybe I'll see it in person, I mean, and you know, maybe it'll end up being like the perfect blushy bronzer. But actually looking at the lightest color swatched in the light skin tone, it looks pretty orange. And I feel like when I love a bronzer, it's because it leans a little bit more into that like sunburned idea of having gotten sun, like the Kevyn Aucoin bronzer in Sunrise Light, which I absolutely love. But it just reads a little bit more like an actual sun burn or like sun blush on me. And this doesn't look like it would do that. This looks like it would be trying to make myself look like I tan when I don't tan, and it never really does to try to look like I do. La Mer, a bronzing powder, same objection, even more because there's only one color in it, so it definitely wouldn't, I'm definitely not the right person to review it because it's probably too dark for me. Infused with the brand's nutrient-rich miracle broth. In case you want to pay, the price isn't on here, but in case you want to pay a lot for a bronzer that's infused with nutrient-rich miracle broth, it's out there. M Cosmetics released the Flexi Brow Clear Brow Gel. Fine. I need like a wax. I need like a waxy, stiff, laminating brow pomade. And when I see this picture of the gel, like the liquidy gel dripping or being about to drip off of the spoolie that was just dipped into the container, it makes me think if it's that liquid when it's coming out of the container, it must dry down to like a solid hold. And I feel like brow gels that do that are not strong enough to hold my brows, and they just fall. So I just instinctively, and because of my experience with other brow products, I don't have high hopes for this for me. Not enough to make me like want to buy it or try it or review it. But I will, I'm going to be interested to see what other people say. Like that's one that I just like M Cosmetics, and I'm always curious about how their products apply and how they do. And I guess I'm kind of rooting for them. So I will be following the future career of this Flexi Brow with great interest. BH Cosmetics Midnight Festival Collection, like a super colorful eyeshadow palette that's ugly to me and mostly mattes. There's something about that primary orange, primary yellow, and nothing to balance it out, and then a black right there. I don't know. I'm not. This is the kind of thing I would have skipped right over if I was like picking in advance. And what are these other things? Oh, lip glosses. I'm sure they're fine. No interest. Oh, Becca has released a new pressed shimmering skin perfector, Lauren. Have you seen it? So it's not for me because it has, it's duochrome. So it looks like a pink, it's one of those like pink and yellow or like pink and gold shifting ones that has that slight iridescence to it. I really want my cheeks to look like they're glossy. I'm also all in to liquid highlighters right now. It's like all I want. I am very interested. I wonder if this is up on Trend Mood right now. I don't know how long ago the announcement was or the release was, but Becca has released a new version. They've like re-released their liquid shimmering skin perfector, the shimmering skin perfector liquid. And I think that they've reformulated it and repackaged it. And they've also released I think limited edition collab color that's like it's white, but it's not the icy white of pearl. It's like a sheer iridescent-y rainbow white, but I think it's not like a shifting one, like a duochrome one. It's the kind of pearlized, like multi-rainbow iridescent white of the VDL Lumi Layer Primer, which I absolutely love. I kind of want to review that. I had a Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector liquid, a little mini of it, a long time ago. I remember what the formula was like, so I feel like I'll consider it. I'll consider it when I'm placing the order for the other things to review for two reasons. One, so that I can kind of talk about whether the formula is the same as the old one or if it's different, etc., etc. But also because, you know, I'm constantly on the hunt for a highlighter that works for my very fair skin, and so it might be interesting to review that unusual color that they've released in that line. I don't see it here on Trend Mood. I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep going down and whether or not I will come across it. But that is a new release that I like noticed and that I'm paying attention to because it looks like it could be up my alley. Okay, now that I'm not clicking through, I'm just going to scroll and see if anything else leaps out at me before we finish this up. So, oh, here's something that really interested me, but that I don't think I'm going to review. The Dominique Cosmetics cream highlighters, the highlighting balms. Look at these beauties. I'm gonna put a picture up. I mean to say, this really intrigued me. Do you want me to review this? I feel like I've already committed to reviewing like enough stuff for the next month, and I'm still kind of considering reviewing the Rowan 1111 quad. I'm considering doing that. I've gotten so many requests to review that palette, and I have the advantage of having the other two, so I could swatch them all and kind of compare and contrast and do like a super thorough review. So I feel like that would be a better, it would be like a better choice for me just all around in terms of like creating content than reviewing these skin glosses. But this is another thing that I'm going to keep my eye on. I'm going to keep my eye out for other people's reviews of it to see how it performs, because I love the idea of like a goopy gloss for the face that's set in a pan that you can kind of reconstitute with your brush and put on, and then it'll set on your face. I don't know if that's exactly what they're promising here, or if it stays, if it's like just Vaseline with shimmer in it, then no. But if it's something that really kind of sets on the face but looks sheer and glossy. Natasha Denona has also released a glossy cheek product, a highlighting balm in a stick. And the fact that it's in a stick makes me so much less interested in it than I am in the Dominique Cosmetics one. I think I just feel like when you put a stick on your face and go like that, you disrupt what's underneath. And if you're working with a blush, you disrupt the blush. Whereas if you can dip your brush into a pan, you can control the blend. That's the thing. That's why I feel the way that I feel about it. Otherwise, I'd be really interested in it. If Natasha Denona released a cream cheek highlight in a pan, I'd be all over that. All over that. If it was the same product but in a pan, I would be all over it. Isn't that interesting? But because it's in a stick, it feels kind of like a throwaway product to me. I'm not really here for it. Oh, here's the announcement for the Becca thing. Becca Ignite Liquefied Light Highlighters. Yeah, and weirdly, even the lightest shade of the permanent line is called Creativity, and even it looks like it would be too dark for me. Like they don't have the equivalent of pearl. It's like maybe the equivalent of moonstone, but moonstone is like a champagne, and I need something that's like that sheer white with reflects, sort of. And that's what this limited edition Barbie Ferreria translucent base illuminated with multicolored pearls that sparkle like diamonds. Yeah, that's what that is. All right, I feel like that is it. As I'm scrolling, I'm getting down to like the ColourPop Mulan collection and all the stuff that I am aware is old news. But I hope I didn't miss anything that's like super, well, who cares? Who cares? I talked about a bunch of stuff and it was really fun for me. I'm sure that there are going to be some other things floating around that I didn't talk about, but it's fine. This was just this video. And it was fun to film, and it was fun to talk about maybe reviewing some things. I think I'm becoming more comfortable with very tacitly, like very carefully choosing a few things here and there to review. I've been going a long time in between. So I reviewed the Glossier things at the very beginning of January, and then, or at least I bought them at the very beginning of January. I don't remember how close to the beginning the review was, but it was like early in the year. And then mid-February, I think, was it late February? It was like way late. No, I think I skipped February. And then it was in March. That's right, that I did the Gucci mascara and lip products. So we're in the 4th month of the year, and I've just done 2 dedicated like self-sponsored reviews where I buy stuff myself to review. So I do feel like I have a little room to kind of choose among these things that are really interesting me. Weirdly, I know that it's a struggle right now to kind of like decide what's worth it to buy, especially if your finances are constrained because you don't have the same kind of work that you used to have, or you know, your future is uncertain. I mean, I'm dealing with all of that stuff too. But weirdly, I feel like there's something about like reviewing makeup, not necessarily in the spirit of like telling you whether or not you should buy it, but just in the spirit of exploring the formula and the quality and what's going on in the market right now. There's so much bleak. There's so much that's bleak right now. So much is bleak. And it just feels so joyful to be able to just revel in color and texture. And that's why I've been enjoying like doing get ready with me's and putting stuff on. And it'll be the best aspect of testing out the few things that I decide to review on camera when I get around to ordering them, and actually more to the point, when Sephora gets around to shipping them. But that's okay, because again, to me, it's not so much about like turning on a dime to be the one to tell you like if you should buy it, because I don't know if you should buy it. I don't know if you should buy it. I can't tell you that. But when I eventually get a couple of these products in my hands, I'll be able to tell you what I think about them. That's like the beginning of and end of it for me. And I really do love doing that. So that is it. Thank you for staying through to this speech about me and how I'm feeling these days about having the chance to review products on this platform. I appreciate you for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you are remembering to take extra good care of yourself right now so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.